From loving dogs and filming blockbusters to protecting monks and launching satellites, these are all good things done by some of the most evil dictators on Earth. And some of them are so touching that they could bring tears even to their haters. Like Kim Jong-il, who was so obsessed with cinema that he kidnapped famous South Korean directors and actors in the 1970s and 1980s and forced them to make propaganda films. But don't worry, after the amazing job that they did, he even sent them to the European Film Festival, where they managed to escape from his slavery forever. Okay, he didn't particularly love his people, but his love for his family was more than enough. Kim loved his father so much that he decided to give him the softest blanket in the world. That's probably the most touching thing I've ever heard. Until I found out that he had ordered North Koreans to kill 700,000 sparrows for their neck feather. But unlike Kim, this one Austrian artist loved animals. Hitler was not only a vegetarian, but also passed laws prohibiting cruelty to animals, such as dogfighting. He even had his own dog, Blondie. Truthfully, he treated animals much better than people, unless you were a child, of course. He would not only give you medals if you fought in a war, but also if you were a woman who gave birth to many children. Perhaps Hitler remained a child at heart himself because he considered the best Christmas present he ever received to be 18 Mickey Mouse cartoons given to him by propaganda minister Joseph Goebbels. How cute is that, huh? He also built the Autobahn, the world's first expressway system, and the best car at the time to drive on it, the Volkswagen, a family car developed under him. Wow! Didn't expect this from a guy who killed 11 million people across dozens of camps. But Kim and Hitler would seem like quite reasonable people compared to Caligula, whose real name was Gaius Julius Caesar, not the famous nice Caesar, but his descendant, and one of the bloodiest emperors of Rome. He staged public games and gladiatorial contests, sometimes for free, just to entertain the crowds. But before you say, how nice of him, when he got bored during those shows, he would order some of those people to be thrown into the arena. And of course he was ready to go himself, but his opponent was given a wooden dagger. No love for people this time as well, but at least he loved his horse. He loved it so much that at the end of his life, he wanted to make it a senator. What is going on with these dictators and their love for animals? On the other hand, Al Capone was truly a man of the people. He opened free soup kitchens in Chicago, serving thousands of people every day. But more than anything, he loved children. During Prohibition in Chicago, kids were dying from unpasteurized milk. Capone used his muscle to enforce pasteurization, setting up safe milk distribution. Even while hiding from the police, he would visit a candy shop, essentially buy it out, and give all the sweets to children. What I find the sweetest is that he did everything he could to make sure kids didn't end up like him. And when he was finally arrested, the mafia boss, who terrified everyone, still played the banjo in the prison band and even wrote a song for his wife. But it's nothing compared to what our next dictators did. Like Saddam Hussein. He wrote 4 novels, which were even adapted into a TV series. But more than anything, he loved Star Wars movies. So much that his soldiers were ordered to wear Darth Vader helmets. Join the dark side, George Bush! In his free time, away from genocide and using chemical weapons against his own people, he built a children's hospital for cancer patients and personally donated to families of Palestinian martyrs. He once ordered dozens of houses built overnight for poor newlyweds who couldn't afford homes, handing out keys personally. Yet his donations didn't stop at Iraq's borders. In 1980, Detroit even gave him the key to the city in recognition of his contributions to local churches. Wait a second, Saddam. Getting the key to an American city? What? Are we even in the same reality? But Joseph Stalin, unfortunately, ended his creative and noble path when he became a dictator. Because Stalin used to write poetry, sing, and rob banks to fund the communist cause. Somehow the Caucasian Robin Hood still turned into one of the most feared men on earth. Walk into Stalin's office, and you might think a sweet old man lived there. Cats roamed freely around the Kremlin, and Stalin could spend hours watering flowers. As for his country, he transformed a backward agrarian nation into an industrial empire, complete with factories and new cities. And he even built the foundation for the Soviet space program, so only 4 years after his death, the Soviets launched their first satellite. How do you like this, Elon Musk? Pablo Escobar also did a lot to make his city look better, even though he was always on the run from the police and secret services. He poured millions into the poor neighborhoods of Colombia, building roads, houses, and even football fields where there had once been nothing but dirt and weeds. He also had a PR department searching for people in need and sponsoring them while covering it in the news. Every Christmas, he made sure children got bikes, toys, and treats. And once, while they were on the run from the police and his daughter was freezing, he burned around $2 million just to keep her warm. And while the United States couldn't take down a single mobster, Mao Zedong managed to eliminate drugs in a country with a population of 900 million people. He not only completely stopped the production and use of opium, a traditional Chinese drug, but also created the first state-run rehab programs for addicts. Mao believed that both the body and mind should be clean, and he was deeply superstitious about nature. He funded the preservation of rare mountain temples in China and even sometimes ordered military zones cleared so monks could continue their rituals. On top of that, he was the first Chinese feminist. He ensured women had the right to education, work, and inheritance. Come on, who else could have suggested sending 10 million women to the United States saying, "My country is too poor to take care of them"? It's hard to believe that this guy killed more people than Hitler and Stalin combined. Ironically, Genghis Khan, yes, the one who killed 40 million people, was considered even more fair because he banned the kidnapping of women and the selling of children into slavery. As for the monks, he saved them from taxes. This was his way of giving freedom of religion. And to keep his ever-growing empire connected, he created one of the first international postal systems with relay stations and fresh horses set up across the land. Without him, Europeans might not have learned about paper money or gunpowder for many more years. And for the next dictator, we have the quietest of them all, because Mobutu Sese Seko had a very specific charm. In his diamond vault, visitors were given a small scoop and a canvas bag, and anyone could take home as many gems as they liked. But this wasn't all. Mobutu also encouraged customs and a love of nature. He even ordered military protection for rare forest giraffes in the Congo. Soldiers who had once terrorized villages were now guarding shy animals in the jungle. All of those things in no way excuses what these dictators did. But even a broken clock shows the right time twice a day.